Alright, hey, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. This is Collective Coffee, and we need to talk about what's going on in the United States. I'm not trying to center Americans, but I think it's important to talk about. Whatever. Anyway, bleh. Okay. What's going on after Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina and Tennessee? Other states are affected. Georgia's affected. Nobody's really talking about Georgia. Florida's still a little bit affected, but not as much. So, I've been on Appalachia, I can't say that word, Appalachia side of TikTok, where people are sharing their experiences. Apparently the smell of death is pretty, intense. People are saying that the civilians, citizens who like have helicopters, which honestly is a little bit more than I expected, who are doing like airlift rescues, are being threatened to like cease or they will be arrested. Donations are being kept from the people in need. Grocery stores are being guarded by pigs. We know this. But one of the things that I see is a parallel. Kamala Harris has now taken on, I guess, the publicity on this versus Biden. They're kind of ushering her into that position, right? As they have been the past few months. But she's saying that people can apply online. Okay, these folks don't have power. They don't have electricity. A lot of their devices are ruined, right? There were massive floods. So if people are alive, they don't really have access to internet. And so she's saying that they need to apply for up to $750. Now, I think what we have forgotten, because the American consciousness is about 24 72 hours, 72 on a good day, is that that's exactly the amount of money that they offered people in Maui after the fires. It was $750. So that's as much money as the government is going to give any of us who are dealing with any sort of climate disaster. I think the things that have come out in the past week since this has been happening, it's only been that long. There's Google Docs that are being circulated of people's loved ones who are missing. So people are really working together. The organizing is absolutely beautiful to see. I think Americans on both sides of the divide, right, the Republican-Democrat divide, are talking about how useless the government is, and that's the point that a lot of us have been waiting for us to get to. But again, that happened in Maui. All of these things happened in Maui. They wouldn't let people have access to the donations. They wouldn't let people into certain areas. They confiscated donations. So I just want you to recognize that as climate change is man-made in the sense that it is because of fossil fuel emissions immensely, right? Because of fracking and drilling and just, taking from the earth in an alarming rate to capitalize, right? Bombs, like what's happening in Gaza, the bombing, even that is affecting air quality for people all over the world, right? Like, we're not as disconnected as they want you to think, because those are man-made borders, right? And so that's the thing that's really inspiring to see, is people putting aside those divisions and coming together. It's absolutely beautiful. That's the human condition. It doesn't matter what nationality you are. It doesn't matter what man-made borders you live within. And I feel like I just said this like last week, but it really doesn't. It doesn't matter. None of that matters when it's life or death situations. If you are a human, you're going to want to support life, right? So again, it sucks that it takes these atrocities to get to that point, and that's what organizers have been talking about, is organizing, getting mutual aid, having these systems and networks in place before a catastrophic event, right? And that's what we, who are not affected by these things, can continue to do, right? That's what we can do. That's what we can do. So yeah, I just see a lot of parallels between this and Maui. you know, the collective consciousness right now is really elevating. But yeah. Oh, what I wanted to say quick. People have talked about how there's lithium deposits in the land in that area that was flooded, right? And this flooding happened not just because of the storm, but because of dam breaks, right? The same thing that happened in Katrina when the levees broke, right? All of those things that were man-made are man-controlled, right? And I'm saying man, not gender-wise. I'm saying human, whatever. The man, if you want to look at it like that, you know, stick it to the man. Remember School of Rock? Anyway, and so apparently big companies wanted to mine that land, and the locals, the people of Appalachia, I'm sorry, that those folks said no, like this is our home, and so there's a parallel being drawn there. I think it's really nauseating to see people still calling people conspiracy theorists. Can we stop that? Can we stop that? Because none of this is a conspiracy. It's literally happening. And I think when we call each other conspiracy theorists for making parallels to situations that are affecting people and killing people and taking people's everything, right? These are poor folks predominantly. And a lot of people from that area have gotten on and talked about how, you know, we don't really do race division here, right? We're a tight-knit community, so we need to listen to that. Because I know I've seen a lot of outsiders be like, oh, these are sundown towns, which, you know, if you don't know what a sundown town is, a sundown town is a town that the Klan will kill black folks in if they're there at dark. And yes, those exist all over the country still, unfortunately. Black people do not hang themselves. Anyway, off topic, sort of, not really. So yeah, people are getting together, people are organizing. I think in these opportunities, again, for people who are not affected by this, I think it's important to use these, to not only figure out what you would do in a situation, just have a little empathy, right? Be like, what would I do in this situation if I was alive, you know? Prepping is a big thing, but again, people's houses were like taken, you know, like you can't prep for that. You know, if you prep your car and your car gets taken by a flood, what are you gonna do? Or like the people in Maui, their houses and their cars and everything were fucking beamed and fucking on fire. You can't prep for a lot of this shit, right? But I don't care how crazy you think I sound. I know for a fact this shit is not, you know, coincidence, natural disaster. These are man-made things to achieve a means to an end. And I mentioned smart cities the other day, and so smart cities are what the elite in these New World Order... I hate using that word because it's going to add the little thing at the bottom to make me look crazy. They're all doing the same thing, okay? What I think is interesting is that... fuck, I lost my train of thought. I was talking about NWO. Where are we at? Oh, smart cities. So smart cities are they're having conventions on this, right? It's not a conspiracy. You can go to Google, it's free. You could ask Alexa or Siri. You could ask your ChatGPT about what's going on with smart cities. But the problem is that people just want to pretend like it's not real and just stay in this little bubble of content, right? Until it's your turn. And then you're just a fucking problem, right? Let's keep it super real. So anyway, smart cities, they are destroying the land as we know it, the planet as we know it, making it inhabitable. There's already a project started in the Middle East. Is it in Saudi? Or is it in... I don't know. It's in the Middle East. It's called The Line. And it's a completely in a building. Like, it's a whole town, city within a structure, right? I just watched Biodome not too long ago. Pauly Shore, what's up? But that's kind of the consensus, except it's like large scale. And so that's the thing. There, you know, Project 2025 is a thing, but Agenda 2030 is even more thing. And the tagline of Agenda 2030 is, by 2030 you will own nothing and you will be happy, right? So they're funneling people into enslavement because, you know, giving someone $750 who has lost family members, lost animals, lost their livelihood, lost their homes, lost their cars, lost everything that they had individually paid for how God knows how long, lost their land, lost rights. And that's the thing, they're coming in, they're kicking people off of their land, and they're funneling them. And so it's really important because that's exactly what happened in Maui too. And the thing about organizing is that they're gonna come for, they're so organized on that side, they being the powers that be. And if you don't believe that the powers that be are doing this, I don't know, you don't belong on this channel. If you want to stay in your little bubble, do you until it's your turn, that's fine, that's you. For those of you that want to organize, want to build community, want to think and imagine a different world, want to overthrow these evil motherfuckers, hi, me too. Let's do it together, you know what I mean? But like, it's all part of their agendas, you know? And they kept you distracted. They keep you in this neoliberal mindset. Neoliberalism, again, is this toxic individuality, right? But like, the thing about neoliberalism that I think is really infuriating is that everybody does the same thing, but they like think they're unique, right? And you can really see that with TikTok trends. It's pretty gross. No offense, you know, enjoy your life, but it's all part of the thing, right? So yeah, I would keep an eye on this. It's not just it's a, you know, it's a big issue. I would also keep an eye on the Middle East because Israel has killed 2,000 people in a week in Lebanon and no one's batting an eye. But people are still talking about stupid shit, right? Hey, baby. Okay, here you go. Love you. Oh, your mouth is all blue. Ring pops. Anyway, I just want to, you know, go on TikTok, share information, and also check back with the folks in Maui, in Lahaina, see what has, you know, they've gotten pretty big wins for the past year. That happened about a year ago. So that's another thing, is it feels like from August to October, for some reason, feels like a big moment of the powers that be escalating. But again, as us, we don't know when that's going to be, right? If you don't know about direct energy weapons, highly recommend looking into those. But like, this was, this felt man-made, because just I believe it's all man-made. I really do. I believe Mother Earth is trying to reclaim, but there's too many parallels to what they want, they being, again, the powers that be. The lithium batteries, right? And that's all this, and that's how it's connected to Congo too, right? The genocide happening in Congo, children soldiers, children slave labor, violence against women, arms deals, right? Like, this is, it's all connected. It's all connected. And that's why it's important to, again, not let their man-made divisions rule your life, right? Stop being a dick to your fucking neighbor. Stop being racist. You know, we are not each other's enemies. I made a video a long time ago about resistance and a common enemy. And yeah, we all have work to do, right? We all have been indoctrinated into different systems, different, excuse me. Oh, we have art space in like an hour, fuck. Shit is exhausting. Also, just listen to what people are saying. Okay, whatever it is that's in your brain that's not allowing you to receive information because of your belief system, decolonize that, right? Whatever it is, whatever makes you think that you're more special than anybody, decolonize that shit. Again, I'm doing daily decolonizing over on TikTok. And this is all part of the land back movement too, and the land back movement is global. If and when indigenous folks receive the ability to care for the land again, these imbalances will be balanced. That's super real. This is all colonialism. It has all happened within 500 years, not even, like 200, right? The Industrial Revolution started in when? That's when the emissions started, the global warming, all of it. This is fucked up. And that's another thing. If you don't know, now you know. Anyway, okay. I'm gonna let you go. Have a good day. I'm not laughing to be insensitive. I'm laughing because that was a song lyric. But anyway, I will continue to come on here, but I highly suggest, especially if you're an American, if you don't see parallels with what's happening with people being bombed, people being flooded out, people having fires, if you're, whatever part of the country you're in, you're not safe. And that's another thing. Maybe look to what natural resources your part of the world has. Like, by us, it's like uranium and some really crazy shit. But yeah, things are bad, and keep your, a little less thoughts and prayers and a more, like, intentional energy, right? Like, send energy to people. We can do an exercise about that later after Art Space. I'll share with you some ways to telepathically do some shit, okay? Because I truly believe we all have telekinesis powers. I mean, we do. We've just been bogged down by these systems. So I'll share some of that later after Art Space. Okay, have a good one. Again, if you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok. Facebook is like a lag time of like 3 weeks. So if you want like what's really happening, get over on TikTok, search hashtags, and educate yourself. And remember that we are all the experts of our own experience, right? It's not up to, Fox or CNN to tell you. And that's the thing, is that we're in this time, like everything is shifting and changing. And we're in this time as a collective humanity. I've been talking about this for a year, where we have access to each other. With immediacy, we have access to truth and knowledge. If you don't have a social media platform, highly recommend doing that, because this is the time, you're sitting out on one of the greatest time for humanity. We're all waking up to the truth, regardless of where we are, what we look like, what we believed before. And it's absolutely beautiful in that regard. But we are also up against supreme evil, literally. And we have been for a long time, but they've cloaked themselves very well. And we've been complacent in that. And that's what decolonizing is about, is undoing your complacency and standing for what's right. Okay? All right. Peace.